Happy New Year, and thank you for tuning in to Retiring Well. We're going to dive in this year and be talking about what is the COLA for 2025. If you're on Social Security, what does that raise look like for you in these individual circumstances? Then Nick is going to get in and talk about how ERISA affects your retirement. Do you have a workplace plan? Are you already retired? Where does ERISA come into play and what does that look like? Then Jack is going to come on and talk about the best ways to pay for college. Are you helping one of your own children, your grandchildren, or maybe even yourself pay for your college? What are some tactics out there to help you get through that? And then wrapping up the show, we're going to be talking about different guaranteed retirement income strategies that you can use in your retirement. Some may be appropriate for you, some may not be, but they're interesting to see all the different options out there. Thank you for starting the new year with us here at Retiring Well.
Retiring Well, brought to you by Centennial Wealth Advisory, financial advisors specializing in retirement planning and serving all of Northern Michigan. Retiring Well, helping you plan for a successful and comfortable retirement. Retiring Well, plan to retire well.
Well, I've got some good news to share with you. If you're drawing Social Security, you're going to see another increase in 2025. For 2025, it's 2.5%. If you go back, looking at what 2023 was 3.2%, 2022 was as high as 8.7%, and then 2021 was 5.9%. And according to the Social Security SSA.gov website, the trailing 10-year average is 2.83%. So this year is getting more in line with sort of what the trailing 10-year average is. And you'll hear this term COLA, but I want to make sure that people know this isn't Coca-Cola, right?
Right, yes, yep. COLA stands for Cost of Living Adjustment, and it's based off of the inflation data and Consumer Price Index.
Sure.
Every October, Social Security Administration reveals that annual COLA this year is the lowest since 2020.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think of that as 2.5% is actually the lowest here in that 5-year stretch, but it's ultimately when inflation is higher, like I talked about earlier in 2021 and 2022, you're going to experience a higher cost of living adjustment. So Social Security is ultimately saying, hey, good news, we're in a lower inflation time, which I know as you're watching that, even as I'm saying that out loud, it seems a little puzzling as we try and think of, well, has inflation really gone down? Ultimately, maybe it's slowed, but it really isn't going to go back to the pricing that we were all experiencing a few years ago. I know for me, especially going to the grocery store, I've got 2 teenage sons, and so it definitely doesn't feel like inflation has come down. But what about when folks are getting to retirement? What are some things there?
Yes, if you're retired and you're drawing Social Security and you're worried that 2.5% increase is not going to be enough for you, then you can also consider a part-time job. So options to work remotely there are. But be cautious. When you're full retirement age, there are income limits, which is $23,400 in 2025. So that they'll start taking back benefits after that number.
Yeah, so yeah, if ultimately, as Ashley's talking about that, if you're under that age of full retirement age according to Social Security, and that's going to vary based on the year that you were born, you just want to be cautious about how much income you earn. I know it may not be the most exciting thing to hear, well, hey, one of your options is part-time work, but we're seeing a lot of folks that have maybe retired from the career that they had over all those years, and then now they're out there just maybe picking up a part-time job just for something fun to do, something also that maybe helps cover some of your health insurance costs. There's a variety of things that you want to be considering, and ultimately, when you're looking at Social Security, it can be a valuable piece of your overall retirement income plan. So you want to make sure, timing-wise, when you go to draw Social Security, it's so important to to look at that, especially if you're married. You want to map this out and try and determine, okay, when would be the ultimate time to start that, because there's going to be different variables that'll impact your retirement. Perhaps if you're drawing prior to age 65, and you have to consider, well, what are the if you're out on your own and going onto Marketplace for health insurance, what impact is that income from Social Security going to have potentially on different health insurance subsidies? Or what if you're at an age where you're considering doing Roth conversions? I know here on Retiring Well, we talk a lot about tax planning and how to transition money from IRA to Roth IRA. But depending on what your income is, that'll determine how much of your Social Security income is taxable. So again, there's a wide variety of reasons why you want to be analyzing your income plan. And that's where here at Centennial Wealth Advisory, we have different tools available where we can ultimately try and map out what do the next 30 plus years of your retirement look like, and ultimately break that down on sort of a year-by-year basis. And that can help you determine when it might be valuable to trigger that Social Security. And then, what does that cost of living adjustment look like going forward? What does inflation look like going forward? So there's a lot of variables that we don't know all those answers, but we can at least help you build a plan to hopefully help you plan to retire well.
Planning is the first step to succeeding. Plan to retire well. The success of your retirement depends on a solid financial plan. If you are retired or nearing retirement, we invite you to an informative live event to help you plan to retire well. There is no cost and no obligation, and dinner is on us. We are Centennial Wealth Advisory, financial professionals, specializing in retirement planning and serving all of Northern Michigan, with offices in Traverse City, Gaylord, Petoskey, and Cadillac. Our presentation will address important questions such as what tax changes are coming in 2025? How will the new administration impact your retirement? How will the Fed impact your retirement portfolio? Are you worried about outliving your retirement savings? How can you maximize your Social Security benefits? And much more. Call 888-608-5825 or register online and choose the date and location that works best for you. Tuesday, January 21st at Boone's Long Lake Inn in Traverse City. Wednesday, January 22nd at Bluefish Kitchen and Bar in Manistee. Thursday, January 23rd at Treetops Conference Center in Gaylord. Or Tuesday, January 28th at the Blue Pelican in Central Lake. The live event starts at 6:30 p.m. and is free to attend with a complimentary gourmet dinner to follow. But seating is limited and tends to fill quickly. Call 888-608-5825 or register online to reserve your seats today. Don't miss this important live event to help you plan to retire well. Living life isn't always easy. It puts up challenges and obstacles you'll have to overcome. There are responsibilities. You put in effort to provide and take care of your family, to save and invest, to balance work and life. Planning is the first step to succeeding. Plan to retire well.
Have you heard of ERISA? Well, if you're a 401k owner, you might have stumbled across that acronym before, but basically ERISA stands for the Employee Retirement Income Security Act, and that was established way back in 1974 by President Gerald R. Ford. And basically what the goal of ERISA is to safeguard Americans' retirement savings. But there's a lot more to it than that, so let's kind of go over what ERISA actually is. How does ERISA work? What does ERISA do for your retirement benefits? And who is not covered by ERISA? So what is ERISA? Well, basically it is a standardization of these different retirement plans that are out there. And there's different requirements that the federal government has put into play that all these different plan providers have to go by, okay? So some of the standardization includes what kind of benefits they're providing, the different vesting schedules, and also funding for these different programs that are out there. Also, ERISA does mandate that the different investments, people that are managing the investments in the programs act as fiduciaries or in your best interest. So that's a great perk of having an ERISA sponsored plan. And then also one more thing that is a great bonus is that if, heaven forbid, the plan gets terminated, well, you're actually covered through the pension benefit corporation there. So you would still get those benefits as long as it's through that ERISA covered plan or ERISA covered plan. So how does ERISA work? Right? Well, the standardization that has gone across the board is basically implemented and administered through the U.S. Department's Labor of Employee Benefits Security. Okay, so they're the ones that is actually coordinating all of the standardization that's going on out there. So what does ERISA mean for your retirement benefits? Okay, and this is the really big thing that you need to take away from this little segment is what you get from this protection from ERISA, if you will. And really the standardization that they've implemented is great for your future retirement planning, okay? There's three different things that they really implemented that I think benefit you the most. The first one is having a list of different investment options open to you. So if you're a 401k holder, you probably have seen this list before, right? It could be a dozen, maybe even 2 different dozen options for you to pick from to invest your funds. Okay, so that is a huge bonus. Okay, you're not locked into some certain investment from your employer. You have options, right? So that's great. Number 2 is with those list of investment options that you have, they're required to include historical returns for those different investment options. So you can look at that and determine, okay, this strategy has done well, this one hasn't, and you can make a more educated decision on where you want to invest your funds within the plan. And then just as important, another standardization that they require is that the companies include the cost of those different investment strategies as well. So you're going to see the expense ratios and so forth there plain as day, so you can not only pick different investment options, understand the historical returns that those options have had, but you can see how much those various options could cost you if you were to invest in those funds. Now, who is not covered by ERISA? Well, most 401ks are covered by ERISA, but not all of them. And then typically your local, state, and federal government along with church plans are not covered by ERISA. Also, one more thing you need to remember is that when you retire and you roll your 401k over to an IRA, well, that's not necessarily going to be covered by ERISA either. So that's something where here at Centennial Wealth Advisory, we help with those rollover processes, and we can go over the different pros and cons of making the switch to an IRA if you so choose. So if you have any questions on rollovers and what to do with your 401k in retirement, please don't hesitate to give us a call.
Planning is the first step to succeeding. Plan to retire well. The success of your retirement depends on a solid financial plan. If you are retired or nearing retirement, we invite you to an informative live event to help you plan to retire well. Our presentation will address important questions, such as what tax changes are coming in 2025? How will the new administration impact your retirement? How will the Fed impact your retirement portfolio? Are you worried about outliving your retirement savings? How can you maximize your Social Security benefits? And much more. Call 888-608-5825 or register online and choose the date and location that works best for you. The live event starts at 6:30 p.m. and is free to attend with a complimentary gourmet dinner to follow. Call 888-608-5825 or register online to reserve your seats today.
Hey, welcome to an awesome segment on how to pay for college. Instead of me just standing here explaining some bullet points on how you might want to pay for college, I thought, why not go to McBain High School, where I used to teach, and get some of the rock stars from McBain High School that are just about ready to go to college next year, and they have to figure out, what are they going into and how are they going to pay for it. So I'm going to let them tell you what their plan is. And so, Isabel, why don't you get us started about your name, career that you might go into, what college you're going to, and how you're going to pay for it.
All right, so I'm Isabel Roosevelt. I am going to Hillsdale College. I'm going for high school math education. I'm going to be a teacher. And how I plan to pay for that is I am going for track and field, so I'm getting some athletic money. On top of that, I have academic merit money that I'm getting. And then I qualified for some loans that are like 0% interest. And then I qualified for a loan that'll turn into a grant if I keep a certain GPA. So that covers a lot of it.
Now, with those grants, I know we talked about it when I was in teaching in the class there. Are grants good?
Yes.
Or are grants great?
They're great.
And why are they great?
Because they're money that you don't have to pay back. So
doesn't get better than that. Okay. Now, Bryce, why don't you tell about how you might attack your college career?
Yeah, so Bryce Hickam, planning on going to Adrian or Hope College, and going the National Guard ROTC way. Probably think about education, nutrition, just going in those fields to help people out.
Cool. And Hope is an awesome school. I think you should look heavily into that. Obviously, a Hope alma mater here, but graduate that rather. But so now, what is the ROTC program going to allow for you to get as far as tuition assistance and so forth?
So ROTC is a lottery-based scholarship system. So it's basically if you get money or don't, you're in it no matter what. But that'll just help you with tuition, and then you get a full career in the military, officer, and whatever course you want to go into.
Awesome. Now, was there anything in high school that you did? Can you talk a little about your CTC time, where that teacher cadet program that you were able to participate in?
Yeah, so I'm in a career technical center at Wexford, Missaukee County, and the teaching program, you just go in, you get all your basic certificates like bloodborne pathogens, bullying, cyberbullying, all that stuff, and then you also get to go into the classroom for 9 weeks, I believe. And you just get to interact with the kids, you get to help the teacher out, and it's just a lot of fun. I'm in 4th grade right now, and 4th graders are a handful, so.
You have my brother.
Yeah, I do.
All right, and Olivia, you want to explain your story and what you're going into and career and everything?
So my name is Olivia Peterson, and right now I'm looking at either Michigan State or Grand Valley, and my plan is to major in political science and then go into law. And how I'm planning on paying for college right now, a really big thing I did is I took as many dual enrollment credits as I could in high school, plus an AP class. And I set myself up that way my freshman year to get a ton of my credits done. So right now I have about a year and a half done of college. So that's one thing that's really helped me a lot financially, especially because school is awful and I don't want to take it anymore. I want to be done.
High school.
Well,
Or wait,
all
yeah,
of it.
it's school.
It's just awful.
Right.
And then so to pay for it, I think I don't qualify for a lot of financial aid, so I'm banking on just like random scholarships, like red hair scholarships, fair skin scholarships, just anything I can find.
Nice. So, what's cool about McBain is that they actually have a foundation, the McBain Rural Agricultural School Foundation, that has over $1 million in this fund. And what they do is they actually, for McBain seniors only, give grants every single year in different scholarships for McBain seniors that, depending on what field they're going into, it's a wide array of options for them. And that gives them some opportunities to definitely apply for and likely get some money there to help you on your way. So when it comes to your fear level, where are you at with how you're going to pay for college?
I'm personally feeling pretty good. Like, I have a lot going my way, and if I don't, I know like I can fall back on work and stuff. So
Cool.
Pretty
I'd agree
good.
with this as well. I feel pretty good, pretty confident with where I'm at in life, and the only problem is if I want to stick to one career or not.
Okay, so you're going to be in that situation where we're going to go start it, and then maybe like a Plinko, right? You might get directed just a little bit different, but at the end it's going to be a win because you put education first and learning. So, and then what about like work study, job study, summer jobs? Are you planning on doing any of that also?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plan on working on the summer and probably on campus jobs if possible.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, there you have it. From the people that are just about going to college. One last thing I'd like to throw in there is just those good grandparent-owned 529 plans. Those are the best way to go. So maybe you eventually, when you become grandparents, if that's in your story, that you can open up a 529 plan. Because the rule is right now, if it's grandparent-owned and then grandchild as the beneficiary, if they have that in place for 15 years, and they ended up not using it for college because they had work study, they had cash, they had scholarships, athletic, academic, that can be converted to a Roth IRA. So thank you so much for watching our show. Thank you for being learners, and I hope you enjoyed this segment.
Hello, my name is Virgil Hughes. I'm a financial educator with Centennial Wealth Advisory. I would like to take a moment to speak directly to the human resources managers and business owners of Northern Michigan. I understand that not everyone is going to be familiar with Centennial Wealth Advisory. We are a financial advisory firm with deep roots in Northern Michigan. We have offices located in Traverse City, Gaylord, Cadillac, and Petoskey. We are unique in the financial advisory space because of our focus on education. This commitment to education is evidenced by our informational television series that's been airing on all the major networks in Northern Michigan for well over a decade. We are focused on the whole person and take a truly holistic approach with our clients, as we are sure you do with your employees. Through our work with thousands of clients in Northern Michigan over the last 25 years, we've learned a lot. The top 3 areas of concern we hear from the residents of Northern Michigan are worries about their physical health, their mental health, and their financial stress that they experience. The American Psychological Association published an article in November 2023 that stated 72% of Americans reported feeling stressed about money at least some point in the prior month. This means that most of your employees are negatively impacted by financial stress. And this not only hurts their ability to perform well at work, but it really impacts their lives outside of work as well. And this is where we come in to the picture at Centennial Wealth Advisory. An opportunity we provide employers is an educational financial workshop. We host these at your company and have them set up as lunch and learns, where we provide lunch for your employees and address the financial concerns that are causing them stress in their lives. The workshops are interactive, and we welcome questions during the educational discussions. If you would like more details on this service that we provide or to schedule a lunch and learn for your team, please feel free to email me directly at virgil@cen-wealth.com. Thank you for taking the time to view this message, and we look forward to working with you and your company soon.
I want to talk about guaranteed retirement income strategies. And before we talk about that, let's first set the stage when we talk about retirement income. We do have a process we want to figure out, kind of get into that, what we call shortfall, to solve for. So first, we have some action steps that we want to do. One, what is our retirement income needs? We have to do a budget, right? What do we need to live on to do the things we want to do, pay the bills, and enjoy our retirement? So let's set that budget. That's step one. We need to then At that point, once we have that budget, talk to a retirement planning specialist. Have this person work with them, working out this plan, look at our investments that we have together. What is, now that we have this budget, what is the income needs that we have? What is our tax situation? All these other things, and so we'll map out this roadmap. Consider the investments, right? So as we're planning this out, the investments are a piece of that. How are we going to structure those investments to fill the income, to provide this income? Right now, we're fortunate to where we have higher interest rates that are out there. We need to leverage those, take advantage of those when we can, whether that simply be with just savings accounts or other types of accounts that I'm going to talk about in a minute. With this, these need to be able to take advantage of these higher rates. We need to act now. If you're retiring soon, these action steps are stuff that we can't put off any longer. We want to be able to do this, and time is of the essence, and the more we have time to plan, we feel the higher the chance of success and also the greater confidence you're going to have heading into retirement. Also, when we build this plan out, action steps could be maximizing Social Security payments. Again, Social Security, when we take that, will determine about the amount of money we're going to be getting per payment, right? The longer you defer your Social Security, the greater the monthly payment will be. You can take it as early as 62 for early benefits, and you can delay it as long as until ages 70. That money is going to increase over time, depending upon your full retirement age and all that sort of stuff, and different factors. So again, we want to look at when should we be taking Social Security, not only from a longevity perspective, and that's something that none of us know exactly, but maybe you'll be able to provide some family history and lifestyle stuff that can help us lead us that, but just from a general financial planning, how does that fit into place? Manage your expenses, again, from an action step. Getting into retirement, talking about the budget and what is that sort of stuff. We need to manage those expenses and be realistic about that. Likely you're not going to go from living this lavish lifestyle while you're working and all of a sudden cut that way down to nothing and just to retire. You're going to want to have some lifestyle during retirement, right? And that lifestyle is going to be your income. Your income is going to provide that lifestyle. So back to the original point, guaranteed retirement income. So how do we get guaranteed retirement income? Well, Social Security in theory is guaranteed retirement income. One option though, from an investment perspective, is the use of annuities. Now, annuities may or may not be for you, and there's different types of them, so we have to be careful with them. Annuities are through insurance companies and are claims based on the insurance company, and that's who's guaranteeing the product. So I want to be very careful about the companies we're using and the types of annuities we're using, and also the structure of that, because they offer different benefits of that. So some annuities offer additional benefits that give you guaranteed lifetime income payouts over a certain time period or a lifetime. And that may be attractive for people, especially with recent market volatility. And if you've had stocks or bonds, you may be seeing portfolio fluctuations. And if you could have a guaranteed stream of income, that may be attractive. Again, it's not for everybody, but it's an option that sometimes is worth exploring. Earlier I talked about take advantage or maximizing interest rates, right? So with interest rates being really decent now for the first time in many years, some of these products have some attractive payouts over time. So once again, the point of this is those action steps I provided before as you're kind of planning it out, and then consider some of these guaranteed income streams that are out there. Again, make sure that you do your research on them, talk with a professional, and these insurance products that are out there, because there's many different types of them. Some may or may not have fees. So if you'd like to walk through those options with us, please give us a call. We'd love to walk through those with you and see if they make sense for your retirement planning picture and how that all fits into your overall retirement plan so you can plan to retire well.